I recently made a video talking about the postcards published to advertise the Central London Railway. Well, the CLR weren't the only tube line to produce advertising postcards, and those aren't the only postcards in my collection. Today, we are going to look at some from the Great Northern, Piccadilly and Brompton Railway. The Great Northern, Piccadilly and Brompton Railway was the rather unwieldy name given to the line that's now the Piccadilly Line. It was often, understandably, known as the Piccadilly Tube for short. The Piccadilly Tube was part of the Empire of Underground Electric Railways of London, or UERL. Now, I must confess that I don't know exactly how many of these were produced, but I have 5, so let's take a look. The subjects covered seem rather mundane. They don't show us the exciting places you can go by tube, but rather the tube itself. Each one features a short paragraph on the back. London's latest tube, the GN Piccadilly and Brompton Electric Railway from Hammersmith to Finsbury Park, which has just been opened, supplies the long-felt want of a connecting link between the west and north of London. It runs through the heart of the theatre area and serves the West End shopping districts. Since the Piccadilly Tube opened in 1906, we can assume these cards date from around that time. The first one I'd like to look at is this, depicting a motor carriage. This is one of the 1906 tube stock trains, also known as gate stock. Trains like this were used on the Piccadilly Tube as well as the Bakerloo and Hampstead tube lines, which were also owned by UERL. They look very American by the standards of Edwardian trains, and that's no coincidence. UERL was founded by Chicago businessman and bounder Charles Yerkes, who brought a lot of American technical staff with him. The concept of multiple units, where the motor is built into the coaches rather than being a separate locomotive, was a fairly new one in Britain. The Bakerloo and Hampstead trains were built in America, but the Piccadilly ones were built in Hungary, France and Britain. No gate stock survives apart from this carriage end at London Transport Museum's Acton Depot. Here's one of the interior of the coach, and doesn't that just look so inviting? It looks more like a gentleman's club than a tube train. But this does highlight a number of ways a tube train differed from a conventional train. At that time, rolling stock on the surface tended to be divided into compartments. This train has open seating arrangements with no division of class. Note also the leather straps. The concept of standing on the train is normal now, but back then it was a novelty in Britain, and not an entirely welcome one. It was another innovation brought over from America, where the term strap hangers as slang for commuters was already firmly established. In fact, one of Charles Yerkes' famous quotes was, "It's the strap hanger who pays the dividend." I'm not going to do the accent. Here's a train in Piccadilly Circus Station. Mostly what I like about this one is the fact that Piccadilly Circus looks nothing like this now. That's Piccadilly Circus in 1906, and this is Piccadilly Circus in 2022. Big difference. Now here's a weird one. This is the interior of Lots Road Power Station in Chelsea. Note that they refer to it specifically as the Great Northern Piccadilly and Brompton Railway Powerhouse. It wasn't for their exclusive use, but it also supplied the District Railway, which was yet another line in the UERL empire. Eventually it would wind up becoming the power station for most of UERL's holdings. I guess they decided to claim here that it was a Piccadilly exclusive to make the line seem even more prestigious. Why would you print a postcard of generators? Because the Piccadilly Tube was electric-powered at a time when most railways were steam. It showed that this was a state-of-the-art railway. This wasn't your daddy's underground railway. The final one, I think, is my favourite. It depicts King's Cross Station, but not the tube station we have today. There used to be a separate station out front, designed by Leslie Green like the other UERL stations. This was demolished in 1963. Now, I'm going to say something controversial. Much as I like Leslie Green's stations, I like King's Cross without a bunch of stuff in front of it a whole lot more. Still, like it or not, the tube station's gone now, but at least we have this card to remember it by. Well, I hope you enjoyed London's newest tale from the tube. If you did, please do leave a like, and you may wish to subscribe for more. I want to see if there are any more of these, because I really love that mentality that says, we should show people our generators. Anyway, I would like as ever to thank my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon, and here on YouTube. You are the generators to my publicity. And I'll see you all again very soon for another tale from the tube.